Okay. Right. I'm just wetting up my blue color. Right. Now then, first thing to do is to recommend to you this little book. It's called 10-Minute Watercolors, and it's by Hazel Soane, needless to say. And it's still available. You can still buy it. I think it cost £5 or something like that when I bought this one. And in it, everything is a painting that didn't take more than 10 minutes. So absolutely everything. And she also gives you all the techniques, all the stuff you need to know to be able to paint watercolors at all. It's a fantastic little book. So that's number one. The other thing is, one of the things you can do with your little paintings is that sort of thing. It's in a postcard which opens up for you to put something in, right? That's just a pot in the garden. That's the water somewhere. And you all recognize that? Yeah. Okay. Right. Now, the thing about this is that when you're painting short, small like this, you don't tackle it in quite the same way as you're doing when you're doing a considered big painting. If I was doing this scene as a considered piece, I would in fact put the background in, you know, the sea and the sky, and the gradation of the water coming forward and everything, and then I would let it dry before I put the fellas in. But if you're outside painting and you're wanting to do it, expeditious, that's the word. Expeditious. Then you need to start by working with the fellas. So I'm going to make a dark. I've got Prussian blue, and there is red in the picture. So if I add red to my Prussian blue, and I've chosen the right red, that is, then I get a dark. It goes a dark purple sort of thing, but it's a really dark. Now I need the paint to be fairly thick because it's largely a silhouette here. So if I put the fella in first, I would put his stick in like that. We've got his head here and his arm, and it comes down here. Right. And leg comes down like this, and it's a bit, and he's down here. This fella's foot comes this way. He's here. You don't have to join the head to the body. The eye will do that. So what I'm just doing is putting in the shapes, right? So all I'm trying to do is to get something down that expresses what is actually happening. And there's this fella here. He's got a stick like that, and his arm comes this way, and then his body goes that way, and his knee is there. Right, and then we've got the boat, which is strange shape. It's very shallow at this end. It thickens up as we go across there. Right. I'm going to miss the fella at the front here out. Now, if I take the red, having cleaned it up a bit, start to I can put the red in where I see it. There was some red here. The red down his back here. And there's a little bit over here. Something's happening there. There's something up there. Right? Right. So now I can put the sky in, believe it or not. So the sky is going to be very runny Prussian blue. Wouldn't normally do it this way. So you just take it across. And when you come up to him, you leave a little space and go around because you don't want it to run. And then I'm going to make it deeper color because of the sea. But I'm going to add a bit of green to that because there's a sort of viridian touch to it. This then as it comes forward, I add a bit more water to the mix as it gets paler as it comes forward. If you do it when it's wet, you get it to run nicely for you. And of course, having it upright like this, gravity works, you know. The bit around the boat is quite deep in color. Yeah, with a bit more green in it. A little touch of you know what that funny thing is here, but there's something strange here too I haven't put in. And then I add a bit of water to that. I'll let it run. There we are. Now, what I forgot to do, here's me, is to leave this fellow's shirt out. I forgot the fellow's shirt. Where's my shoes? Right. So I have to allow for his shirt here. Yeah, so this has got to be darker. And he's got a black head in there too, hasn't he? His head is here. And then you've got this arm is here. And this arm is here. Once you've got it down, you can do any titivating you feel needs happening. It's down, it's there, you know. 5 minutes? What I'm trying to say is you're all taking too much time and making it useful. These are sketches. Supposing, that probably won't turn into anything. Supposing we look at something different. Right, piece of paper. This is lovely thick cardi paper. It's gorgeous stuff. I'll put it there. Perhaps I'll put the picture higher up, because what I'm going to do is the phone box. There you see, caught you. Right, now then. That means I need to clean that one. That is the thing about Pillowbox red is that it's a cadmium red. Cadmiums are opaque. Right. But that's all right, because I'm just going to put in the shape of the pillar box and then titivate it afterwards. So if I pick up some clean water, and cadmium red, opaque color just means that you can't see through it. So what you get really bright colors with opaque colors, and sometimes you need bright colors. If I tried to paint that with a transparent color, it wouldn't have half the zing that it should have. Right, so you've got, come on, you can do better than that. Right, and there's a, comes down there and down there, and you can just about see a line there. And you've got that there. Oops, don't worry about that. Right. Now that one you can't see, except a bit down here. How long is it? Well, it's about that long, so that is there. And this is this way. And then we have the lines across. I'm not counting, I'm just putting them in. Everybody knows there's lots of lines across the phone box, you know. Right, and then if I want to do the dark on the inside, I can just put it in like that. See, what you're trying to do is get the thing in before it moves. You see what I mean? In fact, I can probably overlay this a bit and take that right down. Because it's in shadow from the bush. All down this side. Which works quite nicely there, right? So, if I then look to make something green, I started off with Prussian. I think I'll go back to the Viridian that I had. I mixed Viridian with burnt sienna. I get quite a nice dark green. So there's a bush here. If I want the bush to be darker at the bottom, I can pick up some of my blue and help it to, because bushes are always darker at the bottom. It'll be darker down this side too, to give it a bit of shape. The odd. Pick up my green again. Bush in this side comes over here. Now that needs a bit of dark, quite a lot of dark, because this is all in shadow here. darker than that. And I haven't left a lot of room for could also run a bit of and if I want to put in the building behind, the obvious is a raw sienna. So just put in the raw sienna. It's gone a bit green because I'm hurrying and I'm a bit fraught. So you can see what you don't want to do is take too much of time over what you're trying to achieve. And there, change your color here. Okay, so now, if I was doing it, I think I'd probably titivate that a bit more than what's there. You don't want to take up too much time faffing about because all you're trying to do is catch something fast and get it to work for you. You could do a bit more work on the stones at the back here if you wanted to. I can't really see any difference there. But again, it's done quick, is what I'm trying to say. And if you can get it done quick, shall we say 1 out of 10 work, and you think, right, that one's going in a postcard, you know. But the thing is, all you've lost is that, you know, a piece of paper, and you can always use the other side. Nobody's going to see the other side if you put it in the thing. So you can sit there in wherever you are and churn out half a dozen of these. If next week, if it's like this, I'm going to send those who want to go outside to bring back 6 little pictures. Right? Right? And just things that you can see, you know, benches, plants, plant pots, the bus station, the war memorial, the cross. There's all kinds of things there you can get down fast. But the thing is, stop thinking about it and do it, is basically the thing. Don't worry too much about getting the right color. The right color will, in the end, come to you. Or at least you get a sort of semblance of what it is you're trying to achieve, to make so you remember next time. You know, if I painted this wherever it was, I'm not quite sure where it is. I think it's Clitheroe Castle, but I'm not sure of that. When I see that, I'll think of Clitheroe Castle because I sat and painted it. Whereas if you take a photograph, like I said, I'll look at it and say, well, the heck was that, you know? I don't remember. So getting your picture down fast and little and not saying it's got to be perfect every time. Eventually, the more you do it, the more successful you will be. And you'll have total failure, and then you'll also have total success. But they come like that. And as I say, the success rate is about 1 in 10. But if you think of that, then you don't think, this has got to be right. You know, I'll just get it down and see what happens. And if it works, splendid. And if it doesn't, well, throw it in the bin. You know, you've lost a bit of time, but you haven't lost practicing painting. You haven't lost the idea of color mixing. You haven't lost the need to observe more. I've got this like this, and actually if I'd seen this first and done this bit first, it would have worked better. So you gain such a lot by painting fast like this. No drawing, just barrel in, fussing about with some paint and see what happens, basically speaking. And I think that's the best I can do for you at the moment, because I'm not, you know, I'm not in a fit state of pain.